Hi, it's BJ Smith, AP 858, Module 5. This is my continuous improvement, my story. I'm at Lyons Middle School. We are, where are we now? We're in the middle of redesign. We've come up with our vision is provide students with the opportunity to think, explore, create, and learn in a positive environment. And before we begin, I believe that Liz Plunkett here from Twitter, she says, we are learners before we are teachers. I believe that's so true. I think we need to learn about our kids before we can learn how to best teach them. So to learn about our kids, our demographics, we are 75% disadvantaged, economically disadvantaged in our school. 55% of our students are white, 38% ESL, and we have 10% of our student body is ELL. And the ELL group is growing. And our disadvantaged group has been steady and grown in the past few years. In the redesign process, we do parent surveys and student surveys. Parents want better communication. Students want more choice. We have a diversity outreach committee. It's kind of like a site council. They want better communication, so they would like a parent liaison, somebody that they can call and speak to them in Spanish so they can understand what's going on. And then they wanted to make changes to our Spanish curriculum, mostly to teach our Spanish speakers how to read and write in Spanish as they learn in English. Student learning data. We've tracked our kids' eligibility and grades, and since we started a redesign process and everything we've gone through, we have less kids failing. Our state scores and standardized testing, we get the Challenge Award almost every year. This year we really started diving into intervention, and that's where this is going. And reading and math were low. We score well compared to districts with similar demographics, but we are average compared to the state. And my question is average good enough? And our school has answered that with a no. In redesign, we've come up so far with a power hour, so students can get more choice. It's built into their day. It's an hour during the middle of the day where they got different things they can work on and they get to choose. We have PBL was brought in today for more hands-on activity, and our study hall that provides opportunities for students who don't have someone at home that can help them with their homework, and that's our economically disadvantaged kids and our ELLs. Study hall started off with, it got to the point where we have several kids that want to be in study hall because they can get the homework help. So choosing to go to study hall over other things has been a good thing. Where do we want to be? We as a staff, we're dedicated to continuously learning, getting better. We will always have a next step and we'll always be changing. That's something that redesign brought us, that we are always trying to get better. We're never going to settle for where we're at. The next step that we went to was interventions. That's what our data told us to start looking at. We're going to provide Tier 2 for the first time as whole school. We've had it in the past, but it's never been whole school. We'll get an hour, almost an hour a day, where everybody kind of stops and does interventions. Redesign has taught us that sometimes you got to jump in and then pivot as you go. If you don't, sometimes you can collect data, and try to make a plan and just try to get better and better and better, and you get to a point where you never start because you're always trying to get the perfect plan before you start. And our plan right now we know is not perfect and something our school has accepted and we do a pretty good job of, because we know once we get started we'll be able to make the changes we need to make it better. We also will have Tier 3 time built into their day for pullouts for ELL and SPED. We also have Tier 3 for non-ELLs and non-SPED that can provide for those other kids that are really low. How did we get here? Well, we started off with redesign, and then with that we got the schedule changes and pilots, and we started to learn how that process is of always continuing to get better. And redesign isn't something you're going to do to your school this year. It's a process you learn. It's a mindset of always trying to get better, always looking at what you can. And if you think something's going to work and you try it and it doesn't work, you scrap it and you go on. I think our mindset has changed in our school, and I think it's really, really helped our school. And then from the schedule changes and all the pilots we've done, we went into intervention testing. Our KSDE report card, we test well compared to other schools. We have unique needs. 75% economic disadvantage in a rural school is unique. There's not very many schools out there that have it. 40% Hispanic and ESL needs. That is unique, especially to our area in Kansas, right in the middle of the state. Western Kansas, we fit more in the schools that are out west. Our students need support. That is our why. Why are we always doing this? Why did we adopt this mindset? Because our students need support. Our state assessment scores, as I've said, we've always been right along average, which is good with the state says that's really good for the type of students we have, and that's why we get the challenge awards. It makes us feel like everyone's grade level, but when we started really looking into the data and the testing and all that stuff, we've started to see that we aren't grade level. We are doing better than other schools that are like us, but that doesn't mean we're doing great compared to the mainstream schools, the rest of the state. So we're going to get better. How do we move forward? We're going to start with our tier stuff. Our schools, we've already created the culture to go off of our vision, which is to provide students with opportunities to think, explore, create, and learn in a positive environment. So redesign taught us that if we overplan, like I just said a little bit ago, we'll never begin. So we're ready. We're going to jump in and we're going to go. We're going to start with interventions. We have MTSS training to start the year. We have scheduled intervention time. 7th and 8th graders have already been tested and are in their groups, and 6th grade will be tested the first week. Those are the grades in our building. We've learned through this process that we have a lot of successes, and we like to remind ourselves of those, especially when we're starting something new, so we know that it may not look perfect to begin with, but it can end up being a success. Power Hour was big for us. Our students have more choice now because they have more electives. We have soft starts, which is kind of like homerooms and family time at the beginning of the day. That's really helped our students. And I started our day with our behaviors and all that. We have more project-based learning. We have study hall, and we also have an after-school tutoring program. Are we making a difference? Our data that we've collected so far and everything we've done, we've had a positive impact in our learning environments. If our data does not support that, we don't use it. We go on. How are we going to track MTSS? Exactly what are we tracking? We don't exactly know what we're going to track and how we're going to track it. It's kind of up in the air. That's something we're going to get at the beginning of the year, and we may make adjustments as we go. But we do know how we post it. We put it in our school teachers' lounge, and we put it on information displays we have around the school. Those are my references. I spoke kind of fast because I had a lot on here. Hope it wasn't too quick for you. Thanks.